All right, my fellow agents, welcome to Zenorama, the podcast of heroes and monsters. I am X7, your awesome host of action and science fiction. Today is live action Thursday. That does mean we're going to be talking about the next 4 episodes of Jinzo Ningen Kikaida, or Android Kikaider, Superhuman Kikaider, whatever you want to call it. Call him, that is, Jiro. And these are some good episodes. We're getting a little further into it, and this is the second set of episodes, so we've got 9 weeks left. But before we get too much further into it, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the show. Let me know what you think about these episodes, and if you could, ring the notification bell and watch a couple of minutes longer than usual. Really appreciate it because it helps the algorithm. So, having said all that, I think we should get ready to switch on. So we start today with episode 5. This is Yellow Jaguar's Evil Draws Near. Once again, this is from the Blu-rays, the Blu-ray set. I will be doing a few episodes here and there from the Generation Kikaida DVD set, just so you can see the picture quality difference. This is doesn't tell me exactly when this episode came out. Thanks, you're no help at all. Just go back here and go to Wikipedia. But we're in there with this young lady who is in charge of making Tokyo green again because it just needs to be more green. It was the 1970s, obviously 72 to 73. So it was a very big thing, making everything green. Let's see. Oh, this doesn't say when it was released either. So extrapolate. There's Yellow Jaguar making his dramatic and exciting appearance by splitting open a monolith of rock. And he's got his tail fire, which burns people, incinerates people, just right in front of kids and everything. You just gotta love this. This show, they just thought the Japanese children were able to handle stuff like this until, like, I want to say the early 80s. Wish that had happened over here, but that's her plan for how Tokyo is going to be, surrounded by nature. Both of their fathers they don't know where they are. And she's in charge. She's the chief there. Yellow Jaguar reports back to Professor Gill and says something he doesn't like and gets punished. And there's Jiro showing up. Another dramatic pose. They really didn't know how to do this. Lots of these, at least in these early episodes where they were still making their way. Once they hit about probably episode 13, the first course of episodes, they start to get into kind of a mold, and that happens for about the next 20 episodes, and then they just blow everything to hell after that, which is what makes it really good. Jiro says something obvious, and there's a nice shot of the stuntman on the side machine. Hanpen is having a problem with his car yet again. calls it a clunker. And then it backfires on him using ninja techniques. And in this episode, and some of these early episodes, he actually uses real ninja magic, as we'll see. Now they're going to give this death belt to one of the kids to try to blow up Kikaida, or kill the brother there of the sister, who's the chief. This guy offers him money, and Hanpen is still very materialistic, at least so far. And that's a good question, Jiro. It's still it was a good question in 1971, 72. It's a good question now. So they keep Masaru is calling him Hanpen, which is a fish cake, and that just stays throughout the entire series. It's a running joke, and he gives the little brother the belt. He's playing Kikaida. You know how in Ultraman there were a couple of kids that were playing Ultraman in the Prince Monster episode. This happens here. It's rare that this happens because why would you know how he changes like that? I don't know, a little bit of out of meta, as the kids call it now. But Yellow Jaguar shows up. The belt will explode now. Anytime it gets near a dark Destructoid, it sets it off. And there it goes. It's beeping. Fortunately, Jiro sees it and throws it away. And then the flute. Always have to have the flute almost in every episode. Almost. Arr! Angry face. But he goes underwater, which blocks the sound of the flute. So they had to figure out a way to do that every episode. And this was one of the ways they did it, where they actually at least put a screen in front of him, makes it look like he's underwater. And out he pops, and the fight begins. And the double chop. So he's also got a belt on. He's going to try to blow up. But he throws him in the air, and kaboom! And Hanpen wants them to forgive him for the belt thing, and they do eventually. And his car won't run because his car's not forgiving him either. And now we're at the Black Horse. And is that where I put this? Let me check something real fast here. Yeah, well, we'll go to the second one. All right, so this is episode 6, pardon me. Math is hard, as I've said. Once again, if you were in Japan in the 70s or 60s, and probably into the 80s, you'd never get on a tour bus, ever. Dark tour. They just took over. Bad guys took over tour buses in every show, I think. At least every one that I've seen, at least once. Resistance is futile. And now they can hear Professor Gill is tormenting the humans with his flute. This doesn't happen too often that they actually can hear it. I would assume it's something to do with the place they are and the bus being there. Black Horse shows up, kills him. And they're still wanting to sell their Destructoids to other countries. Even though if I were another country, and after what happened to the previous one that I paid for, that never got delivery on, because apparently you can only make one at a time. They have to be one of a kind, pardon me. They have to be very expensive because, they're androids and they have superpowers or supercharged. We get the blue light on Gil again. Yeah, just love the old rotary phones. And guess who calls? It's Komyoji. And they try to tell him, but apparently he runs into Hanpen's office and he gives him this ring to pay for his services. And so Hanpen gets away and he runs into a baseball stadium or someplace. I think there was an episode of Ultraman filmed here, probably more than, much like the park from the previous episode. And Black Horse is not happy. And here's Komyoji with a couple of bottles of beer there. But Jiro shows up. There's a nice chase here. And a fight breaks out, of course. And this is the Electro Disintegrator, which is a giant horseshoe that Black Horse can pull out of somewhere. And he crashes down part of the stadium on him. That stadium took a beating. And, of course, it says later, finds out that the ring is Komyoji's wife, their mother, so he gives it back. Masaru says he's proud of him, so now we'll find Dr. Komyoji for free. Little does he know that he's going to be doing this for the next 9 weeks. Get the Dark Tour bus ready. So they send him a fake. Off they go. there's the now our obligatory Gil torments Jiro with it to return to the dark, but there's an explosion. He manages to get under there and save himself. Help! And this is a miniature where it just drops him down once again. A whole bus, but it's only got 2 people on it. And so they're going to get executed unless Kikaider gives himself up. Unfortunately, they hadn't counted on Hampen showing up to save them, which he does. And this is where he uses some ninja magic, and the ropes just fall off. He doesn't touch them or anything. He is the 16th descendant of the Iga ninja Hattori Hanzo. So fight scene, double chop, and he blows them up, and they just leave him. And now we go into episode. Which one is this? Episode 7, which is the mayhem of the monstrous Blues Kong. I still think it should have been Blue Bulldog because he looks like a bulldog to me. He's wearing a spiked collar. But he says Bruise Kong, or Bruise Kong. I mean, it could be Bruise, so which is giving him out Bruise or drinking a lot of Bruise. Take your pick. But it's a good episode, and this is one that you saw in FM 114 pictures of what they called Blue Kong at the time, which he's blue at least. They got that part right, and they're out with the junior campers here, and there he shows up. He kills this woman. And now the father and the son are out trying. Apparently, the dark is not well known because people do go about their lives until something affects them, right? And there's Dad, and he's in the trunks. He separates and puts himself together, so he combines. He's a combining robot android. Kills the dad. And Komyoji came to talk about the dark, and then the little kid thinks that he killed his dad. So this thing happens. And he tells them to change the channel, and there it is. They, apparently they've got powerful receivers, and they do have televisions, cameras everywhere. And so they send Blues Kong to go kill Komyoji or rescue him. Kills all the guards, but Jiro shows up once again. A great shot. I'm assuming that's actually Bon Daisuke up there, but could be a stunt double as far away as that was. But look at that. Speaking of clunkers, but there we go. A fight breaks out. This is happening in the first part of the episode, the whistle. Yes. And drowned out by explosions. So I'm trying to at least give a little different for his henshin sequence. A fight breaks out again. And now Blues Kong is very powerful, so it takes a lot. It's a good fight scene. And Komyoji runs away again. Jiro or Kikaida gets injured by one of the spikes from the collars. This kid trying to save this dumb kid, but he saves him anyway. And now they have to fix him. So they're looking at the schematics. Apparently, when the base was just destroyed, when Komyoji got his, everyone ran. They found his files. It's kind of a cool picture, I think. And so they're talking about how they can try to attack him in the shoulder. And it's near Lake Asuka, and nobody's ready for Lake Asuka. But Jiro hears him and takes off by himself, injured. And Mitsuko just follows up and says, I have to repair you. And she does. But before he can get charged, Blues Kong shows up. And they're gonna take out his conscience circuit to turn him against everyone. Fortunately, they once again didn't count on Hampen, and he just apparently that powers Kikaider, and off he goes. We're off to another battle, the final battle. He blows up the whole building, which is a miniature, which looks like a miniature. It's just fun to see. I mean, Toei was never as detailed as never. I don't even know if they're now as detailed as Tsuburaya was. I mean, at least back then. You weren't in there. Always surprised. Tell me he's not a bulldog. He's got a giant macroencephalic head, so go figure. Is that redundant? And the fight breaks out. And he actually grabs him with the chain and swings him around, gives him his own giant swing. But the giant swing throw throws him over there. He blows up real good, and off Jiro goes on his endless quest. And now the eerie laugh of the Carmen Spider, which is our final episode today. The Carmen Spider showed up in that article about Kikaider in FM 114 as well. And again, without context, I didn't know. The Green Mantis was in there as well. I mean, I couldn't tell because the unfortunately the photographs did not reproduce well back then on newsprint. So, but this is an interesting, a little eerie because they're after the blood of children, specifically children. And there is a little orphan boy. Hanpen is bragging, and they call him right out. And then Carmen Spider shows up. Wraps the teacher up, and look at that one, astride again, just great shots. They did this in V3 as well. Lots of introductions to both Kazumi Shiro and V3 when they would show up. We'll have to do a Kamen Rider episode guide at some point in time, but I'm kind of waiting for Stronger because everyone's talked about the first series and the second V3. X Riders coming out on DVD. Amazon. I got Amazon. Oh, Amazon's still my favorite looking. I feel bad for it. It's the shortest one too. To see if I've got that yet. And one. So this happens, and he does the double chop and chops off both of his arms. Right. That's interesting thing. I mean, that shows it how powerful Jiro is. And that's Kenichi. So, and I think this is our obligatory Komyoji appearance. He disappears for a while in the middle of the episodes. And now she's looking for her younger brother. Just take a wild guess at the coincidence at who her younger brother is. It's all right. I mean, superheroes live and die on coincidences, don't they? I mean, it's just a thing. So this is his new thing. Turn the world into dark zombies. That sounds boring to me. And those aren't going to be the zombies, the flesh-eating zombies that are called zombies now, the ghouls that are called zombies. They're going to be the slave zombies, like they were in Haiti, drugged up and not able to think for themselves. So they're looking for the blood of a certain children. Hanpen's having another problem with his car, but the claw flies off and drags Hanpen away, who brings in, they talk about Kenichi's sister, and there you go, Blood 17. He's still trying to get him to not call him that, but the poor boy. And guess who it is? Unfortunately, she tells Jiro to put him in the sidecar meaning. So he knows she's from the dark. He gives a stern message to Professor Gill. She pulls a gun, which is a little unusual. I mean, not so much in Japanese television, but they don't have a lot of guns over there. And now she's realizing that Kenichi might be her brother. Dun dun dun. But the androids show up, or the drones. I like calling them the drones. Andrones. That might work. And they take her, and he's been poisoned, so she needs to give him the antidote. Fight breaks out. And off they go, because they got to find the little boy to give him the antidote. And he's leaving them clues because he's a Boy Scout. I really like this shot. That's just a great shot of Carmen Spider looking menacing. And the suits are improving still. They get better. And especially in the sequel, they get a lot better. We're not going to go right into 01, but we'll cover it because Hanpen has been captured, and he's full of bluff and bluster. And they kill her. Somehow it's like a web dart, which I do believe that Spider-Man's used as well. And he calls it spider string, spider, just the same things that Toei would use in their, I wish I loved it more, Spider-Man show from 1978. And here's another thing where they get to use a different shot because the spider thread, blocks his ears so he can change, and they actually have it on him. So most of the time it's just the same stock footage over and over. They should have done it, varied it a little more, but I can see why they didn't. They were on a budget and a schedule, and if they didn't have to film they could just reuse the shot as stock footage. I could see that. The dark androids now have done this in a couple episodes where they climb up on each other's shoulders. It looks cool, but it really doesn't do much. I mean, because all you have to do is hit the bottom one. But Carmen Spider's really kind of a wuss. I mean, he doesn't last long against Kikaider. See? I mean, he ties him up with his own web with the sidecar, and boom! He blows up real good. The doctor passes away. Kenichi's going to study harder, and off they go. But where is Dr. Komyoji? Well, the world may never know. All right, so that is our episode. These 4 episodes, good ones. I mean, they're all good ones, really. They get a little more change. They change up the formula, which is good. But tomorrow is Music Friday, and this is what we are going to be reviewing, which I just watched because it's hilarious. So, my fellow agents, until our next assignment, this is X7 signing off and phasing out.
Calling all members of Generation Kikaida. He's back!
Switch on! 1, 2, 3! 電流火花が体を走る自動チェンジ機械だダークロボット迎え撃て人造人間機械だチェンジゴーゴーゴーゴーゴーゴーゴー
Watch back-to-back episodes of Kikaida every Sunday from 7 to 8 p.m. on KIKU.
Generation